Welcome back to the tasting room.
What are we tasting today?
Okay, so today we're sort of doing something a little special. A good long-term chef friend of mine, Chef Bob, actually invited us to be part of a cool virtual tasting that he's going to be doing for his coffee, which we'll talk about later. But the big news is that his partner is Garrison Brothers Distilling out of Texas. So, and Garrison Brothers makes what?
Bourbon.
Bourbon, of course. Garrison Brothers is one of the top high-end bourbon producers out of Texas. And this product is actually really, really cool. This is a recent release that Dan Garrison, one of the brothers, made specifically at his wife's request.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, so his wife Nancy said, I would like you to make a flavored honey flavored bourbon, and he said no. Out of love, he decided to find a way that would both flavor the bourbon and keep sort of the same, keep the integrity of the spirit without just kind of adding in honey or honey flavoring after it was being bottled. So what they've done is actually really cool. They took the barrels after they put their regular Garrison Brothers blend, and they took the barrels, they chopped them up, and then they send them to a beekeeper, to like a honey manufacturer.
Yeah.
And that person then soaks the barrel pieces in honey and then sends them back to Garrison, where they put them in the barrel while the spirit is aging.
That's cool.
So HoneyDew is honey infused versus being honey flavored.
I'm going to read this side of the bottle if you don't mind here. It says, introducing HoneyDew Texas straight bourbon whiskey infused with Texas wildflower honey. It's a delicate, pleasing mouthfeel of summertime joy. This bourbon sneaks in like a spring rain shower. Hope you enjoy this sweet little morsel of goodness as much as we do. Also, I like on the back, like the actual bottle says, good bourbon can change the world. And it certainly can change our worlds, I know that.
It can change the world, so we're going to taste this.
There's a little drink on this called Nancy, Do You Love Me? Because it's the HoneyDew bourbon. That's cute.
Maybe she does, now that Dan has created this HoneyDew.
Good work, Dan. Your wife still loves you. So let's give it a try. I'm excited.
I mean, the color is really cool. It's sort of got those nice, it's got that caramelly color. It has a lot of honey on the nose. I mean,
have you had this yet?
I haven't. This is my first time tasting it. I did open the bottle and sniff it.
Have you had a Garrison Brothers bourbon before?
Yes, lots of times. So anytime Chef Bob does any events, catering and stuff like that I like to schmooze into, he's always serving Garrison cocktails and having the Garrison folks around. So
this is a first for me, so I'm excited.
But this is the first time having the honey infused.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I'm a second sip person too. I know this now.
Wow, that is very different from the ones that we're used to.
Yeah. I know I just made a face, but it just hit my tongue so weird that I was like, oh, Can I ask you, do you taste wood in this?
Yeah, it's very, well, I mean, think about it. They took the wood and put it in honey and then put that honey wood back in. So you're getting...
I can taste that floating piece.
You're getting double wood. You're getting the honey infusion. The thing that's cool about it is it really has that hey, you ever been to Savannah Bee Company and tasted all the little samples of honey?
Girl, I am afraid of bees. I ain't going anywhere near them.
It's like a Disney Springs. It's like a honey store.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
But yeah, you really get the flowery notes of the honey. I think that's, instead of that, I think you think honey.
I was thinking honeycomb, like thick honey, but you're right.
Syrup flavors of
This is like
honey.
a field.
This is we floated around like little bees, and we floated over, and we got the stuff out of the flower, and we brought it back to the bourbon.
It does have that floral smell to it too. Now I've taken the sip, I kind of
Yeah, you don't really
get
get it.
Give me a bouquet of this instead of roses. Who needs that garbage?
I think it's a really unique expression. I think we talked about a lot of other port ones and a lot of other types of wood.
On that sip, I just got a little I don't know how to describe it. It feels like the sweetness of the honey went down the center of my tongue, but it's surrounded by that piece of wood. That in my brain, I've already imagined that I'm sucking on the wood that the honey was on. I know that's a weird thing to say, but. It's
you know
really,
what this would be excellent for? Hot toddies. It would be so good in a warm, cup of tea.
This is even like just like a nice
straight.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I can imagine just like this being a really nice springtime summer bourbon to just sit and sip. Honestly,
put it in your iced tea.
Yeah,
man. Imagine that.
Tea would be really good with this.
Do like some iced tea, some lemonade, like a little Arnold Palmer mix, and then throw this in there.
Oh heck yeah, unsweetened tea though for sure.
Yeah.
Like I 100%. Oh my gosh, yeah, this would be the key because. Honestly, sometimes I'm turned off by anything that's honey flavored because it's like what you said. It gets really syrupy. It gets really sweet. But this is so natural. Like this literally is like, it reminds me if you've ever, whenever you get real fancy and you go somewhere that has the charcuterie board with the actual honeycomb.
With the cheese and stuff. Yeah. This would be a great cheese pairing.
Also, what I'm getting from this sip too is that this would be a really good, because some bourbons I'm like, oh, great post-dinner bourbon. This one feels like a really good almost
before dinner.
Yeah, before dinner.
Appetizers.
Yeah.
Serving around your appetizers.
You said tea, and already now I'm thinking like this is the afternoon drink. The afternoon like
out in the yard with your iced tea, lemonade,
feeling the vapors,
and your Garrison Brothers honeydew.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the more unique ones I've had, and it's really, honestly, it's really interesting to me because this is the first one of those bourbons where that wood really comes through for me, but I'm still really getting that honey. So it's really, honestly, this is really interesting. And now I'm dying to have that tea cocktail. So we're gonna have to use this in a future video. We
are going to be part of that virtual tasting on the 7th of March. So it's Sunday afternoon, and we are going to get to taste some of Chef Bob's coffee. So he roasts coffee locally. What they do is bourbon-infused coffee. So, and I have like 6 bags. What's really cool is and we haven't talked about this yet, but we're going to do a full episode on what happens to the barrel after you make bourbon with it, right? And so there's millions of bourbon barrels all around, everywhere. Every distiller has them. And so, well, what happens to that? It doesn't go to a landfill. It gets used for something else. You can make wine in them.
A lot of people, you've seen beer in it a lot.
You can make beer, craft beers. And so Chef Bob makes bourbon-infused coffee with them. So he takes the beans, and Garrison Brothers in Texas sends him wet barrels. Like they literally dump out the bourbon, bottle it, and then send him the barrels. And they put the beans in there and they age them for 40 days. And what happens is that the beans, and they don't roast them ahead, they roast them afterwards. So they put the beans in green. Yeah. And then they get all of that, all of what's left of the bourbon inside the wood goes into the beans. Then they send them to an Orlando-based coffee roaster, and they roast them here in Florida. And we get, well, this one was the Angel's Share, but on March 1st, they're debuting the Devil's Cut. So the Devil's Cut is cool because Angel's Share was sort of a happy accident. They actually ended up putting less beans in to the barrel than they normally do, so it got more of the bourbon flavor than the other batches previously had gotten. And that gave them the idea to kind of go like, well, let's soak them more. So they're actually, the Devil's Cut, they're aging in the barrels for the same 40 days, but they're making it, they're like putting more bourbon into it instead of just letting the wood do its natural thing. So
make your coffee, pour the bourbon in.
Yeah, and it's cool because the Bourbon Study viewers actually have a coupon code, which we'll post at the end of this video. So if you pre-order any of the Devil's Cut coffee, you get a discount, you get a link for the virtual tasting with Bob, with us, with Garrison Brothers. Yeah. And it's going to be really cool. It's going to be fun. Who doesn't love coffee? Who doesn't love bourbon?
Here's the thing. I'm going to say something in this video. I'm not a big coffee drinker. Yeah. With that said, I have, which is crazy because I used to run a Seattle's Best, but like.
And out of the borders.
Out of the borders, yeah.
Out of the borders in Kingston, Massachusetts. You were the coffee shop
I was the guy. So I am professionally trained to be a coffee taster, but I will say this does smell really good. You know, we've said it in other episodes, I love anything that, if you can help, if it's a
Save
local
the
product,
planet and local.
Yeah, and so like I love the idea of the recycled barrels, and then on top of that, I love that it's a local person, and I love that it's somebody who is that you've known for years because Chef Bob we used to bring the gluten-free flour to the cupcake
Still
store.
doing gluten-free flour.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check it out, and we're gonna post the link.
Yes, there will be, all that stuff will be in the description part of this video. You can get in touch with us, obviously, on Twitter, The Bourbon Study. Send us an email if you're interested in this. That would be thebourbonstudy@gmail.com. And then obviously comments on this video as well. But like Jill said, we'll leave the info for that code. Will be right there in the description. And then I'm looking forward to this event. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I know I said that I don't love coffee, but I'll try it.
It's our first outing as the Bourbon Study, so this is sort of a big deal for us. Also, Bob's gonna have to serve us some food. I'm gonna make that a requirement. Bob, if you're watching, apps.
Yeah, apps. But it's fun. Jill actually brought this up because I was feeling a little cautious, trepidous. I don't know what the word is. Like I was worried because I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. Garrison brothers are actually gonna like be there. How are we gonna be with the people that put the liquor in the bottle? And Jill reminded me that you learn with us, not from us.
Yeah.
So
Come
it is
on the journey with us. While we talk to Garrison, while we talk to Bob, while we talk to the coffee roaster.
If you have any questions about any of these two things, please leave those in the comments too, because we can ask them. We'll get to know. Because like I said, I don't even know. I freeze up in these moments. I don't know what to ask sometimes.
It's true.
Like
I've seen you at Star Wars Celebration around the celebrities. I know how you act. Again, Garrison Brothers out of Texas. They're very cool. If you don't like coffee, if you don't care about that part, at least check out Garrison and some of their awesome expressions that they have.
Yeah, so again, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the tasting room, please give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the Ampliverse YouTube channel where we currently are. Remember, these are just our short little tasting room videos, just a little taste of the Bourbon Study, and stay tuned because we do have full-length Bourbon Study videos that come out every Friday on the Ampliverse YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to that. Follow us on social media. We just want to get a conversation started with people, so it's really not about anything other than that. Just
with
having
us,
fun.
not from us.
Yeah. So with that, let's. I want to pour some more of this. So let's just go and not look super boozy. So thank you for joining us here in the tasting room. Okay, she wasn't. That's fine.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.